In this mini-series, we are going to take a glimpse at legacy brands, those brands that have stood the test of time. In this part, we will dive into the world of Chanel, starting from the 1980s with the one and only Karl Lagerfeld.
This time we're gonna celebrate a visionary, not just a designer, but a man whose sharp wit, unparalleled creativity and fearless approach to fashion transformed one of the world's most iconic brands, Karl Lagerfeld. To understand how Karl Lagerfeld revolutionized Chanel, we must first step back and understand the man behind the dark sunglasses, the high collars and the sharp tone. Born on September 10, 1933 in Hamburg, Germany, to Elizabeth and Otto Lagerfeld.
If you like what we do here on the channel, please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe as we release new videos weekly. Thank you!
His father came from a wealthy family of wine merchants and was a polyglot who could speak 9 languages and was a successful businessman importing evaporated milk from an American company, Carnation. Otto met Elizabeth and married in 1930. Karl Otto Lagerfeld grew up with an insatiable curiosity and a hunger for knowledge. From an early age, he displayed a fascination with art, history and style. The one would become the foundation of his extraordinary career. At just 14 years old, Lagerfeld moved to Paris, the beating heart of fashion, with dreams as grand as the city itself. In 1954, his talents were recognized when he won the first prize in a design competition sponsored by the International Wool Secretariat, a competition where another young designer, Yves Saint Laurent, also made his mark. This victory opened the doors to the fashion world, landing Lagerfeld an apprenticeship with Pierre Balmain, one of the era's most celebrated designers. Over the next few decades, Lagerfeld worked with some of fashion's greatest houses, including Jean Patou, Chloé and Fendi. At Fendi, he adopted fur for modern women, turning it from a symbol of excess into a creative canvas. Yet, despite these successes, it was the next chapter that would forever cement his name in the roots of fashion history. By the early 80s, Chanel, once the crown jewel of French fashion, was losing its sparkle. Despite the brand's rich history, it started turning into a museum rather than the fashion powerhouse, after Coco Chanel had passed away in 1971. Chanel brand needed not just a designer, but a visionary to breathe life back into the brand. In 1983, Karl Lagerfeld accepted the challenge. From the moment he stepped into Chanel, he understood something crucial. Coco Chanel was irreplaceable, but Chanel could be reimagined. Lagerfeld approached the brand with both reverence and rebellion. He kept the foundational pillars of Coco's vision: the tweed suit, the quilted handbag, the Chanel No. 5 perfume, and the timeless black and white palette, but he dared to inject them with modernity, irony and wit. As an example, take the iconic Chanel suit. Coco had designed it as a symbol of liberated femininity, stripping away unnecessary frills and fuss. Karl took the suit and reinterpreted it for a new era. He made it bolder, sharper, and sometimes even irreverent, pairing it with miniskirts, chunky jewelry, and unexpected accessories. He preserved Coco's fashion DNA while ensuring the Chanel woman felt equally as at home in the boardroom, front row at a runway show, or at a modern-day art exhibit. Karl also turned Chanel's runway shows into spectacles. From transforming the Grand Palais into a supermarket to staging icebergs, rocket ships, and beaches with real sand. His shows were no longer just presentations, they were performances. He understood that fashion was no longer just about clothes, it was about storytelling. Perhaps Karl's greatest gift to Chanel was his ability to balance his heritage with innovation. While he honored Coco's legacy, he wasn't afraid to poke fun at it. He played with the famous interlocking CC logo, stamped it on bikinis, graffiti jackets, and bold accessories. He ensured that Chanel remained aspirational, yet accessible in its allure. Under Lagerfeld, Chanel became more than just a fashion house. It became a cultural phenomenon. Celebrities, royalties, and fashion enthusiasts alike clamored to be part of Chanel's universe. He transformed the Chanel No. 5 perfume into a pop culture icon once again, with unforgettable campaigns featuring stars like Nicole Kidman and Keira Knightley.
I must have been the only person in the world.
But Karl Lagerfeld's magic went beyond design and branding. He was a mentor, a collaborator, and above all, a force of nature. His sharp wit, encyclopedic knowledge, and tireless ethic became legendary. He wasn't just a creative director of Chanel, he was its heartbeat. Karl Lagerfeld remained at the helm of Chanel for over 3 decades, practically unimaginable in a fast-paced world of fashion. When he passed away in 2019, the world didn't just lose a designer, it lost an icon. But his legacy endured in every seam, every stitch, and every silhouette that graces the Chanel runway. He once said, "Fashion is not art. Fashion must go out into the streets. Fashion must be worn." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what Karl Lagerfeld gave us. A Chanel that wasn't just a brand for elite, but a symbol of confidence, style, and timeless allure for everyone. So how did Karl Lagerfeld change Chanel? He didn't just design clothes, he redefined the empire. He reminded the world that fashion isn't static, it's alive, evolving, and above all, it tells us a story. And Karl, with his genius and vision, told one of the greatest fashion stories of all time. But the Chanel dynasty story doesn't end there. Stay tuned for the next episode and a new era of Chanel. Thank you.
So, there we have it. The more you know, the more you grow. If you like this video, please take a moment to slap the like, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't know what to comment, type Karl. Au revoir.